What's up, guys? I'm so excited. This is Deanna Marie here, Deanna Marie Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. I've got Chicago's aspiring pop star, Jocelyn Garrett. She's a very, very talented artist, and she's releasing an album next month, actually, right?
The 18th.
Excellent. So we're going to record a podcast. We want to jump on here so you guys could hear it and see us live, and then we'll be posting a bunch of links as we go to keep you updated on what we have going on. What's good, guys? This is Deanna Kuempel here with Label Free Podcast, to live your best life label free. I'm very excited. I have a very talented rising pop star artist with me today. Her name is Jocelyn Garrett. I know her very personally, and I love her music. I'm very excited for her album to come out. So I'm just going to have her do a basic introduction. Tell us a little about yourself. So Jocelyn, please introduce yourself.
Hello. Well, thank you. That was probably the best introduction I've gotten in a really long time.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
I love that.
My name is Jocelyn Garrett. I live in Chicago, and she pretty much nailed it on the head. I have an album coming out next month, November 18th. I've been working really hard on it, so just really privileged to be here and be on your podcast. So thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm really excited just to kind of dive into it. You have a very inspiring story, and I love to talking to women that are inspiring. And I remember when we worked together. Jocelyn and I actually worked together at Stericycle about 2 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, was it longer than that? It was a while ago, but yeah,
it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So we got to talking, and at that time I was pursuing my fashion career and just really big into that. And we went for a walk around the building one day, and I knew she was a singer, and I had listened to some of her music, and I was like, oh wow, this is so great. I love to link up with people that are pursuing their passions and want to make their dreams come true. So when we went on that walk, you told me how much you love music. So I want to know what drives you.
That's an awesome question. Ever since I was little, my mom told me that I picked up a brush when I was 2 years old and pretended I started singing. So I think that's always been in my blood. I was also really blessed that my dad played guitar, so I was able to kind of so I was able to kind of play with his band and insert myself, start songwriting at a really young age, and then recently, I'm going to have to say about 2 years ago, what really drove me is I just remember thinking to myself, if I have kids someday, and they ask me, Mom, did you go after your dream?
Sure. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? I want to tell them, yeah, I did, and I did 100%. So that was probably my biggest driving factor.
I love that. That's really great. And I hope that I can say that to my kids one day. But who knows? We'll see. What was the defining moment that made you go after music?
I feel like I had so many songs I've written over the years, and I've always kind of sang to myself or in closets or record myself. And then I was really privileged that a longtime friend, Justin James, I actually met him when I was 18 years old singing on the beach. Yeah. And he told me, I'm going to be a producer someday. Okay. 10 years later, we run into each other, and, we start connecting, and, we just ended up making one song that turned into, hey, let's make an album.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I watch her. I'm a big fan on her social media. I watch her all the time, and she's just working her butt off. I mean, she's probably one of the hardest working people I know that is up there on my list for sure. What do you think are some common roadblocks that women experience being an individual?
Common roadblocks, I think for women, probably the image.
Yeah.
I think with social media, I think with everything that's out there on, Google, the web, a lot of women are looking to fit a certain image, fit a certain brand. And I admire women that can break that mold and break that image. So
I love that. And that's why I started
And you've done that.
Yes.
You've done that with all your stuff.
That's why I started Label Free Podcast, because I want to talk about how we as women especially, I welcome any man that wants to come out here with me, but I think that we have more of a certain expectation to live up to. Yeah. And that's why it's so important to me to do this and talk to different types of people and talk about their experiences, people that inspire me, that motivate me, because like watching you and going after and just like putting yourself out there. And we've talked about that before. Just like, it's like, yes, I love it. I mean, there needs to be more people like that in the world, and but being positive, spreading positivity everywhere. What do you hope to accomplish in your career?
In all honesty, just affect people in a positive way. You kind of hit it on the nail. I created music, and I'd done this whole journey because I wanted to share my gift and affect the world in a positive way. So if my album can reach people and change their lives, I mean, that's a ripple effect, and
Absolutely.
it's going to cause more positive change. So that's my biggest hope. Obviously, going on tour January 2020, hoping to find out if that happens.
Oh my God,
It'd be
that's
so
exciting!
So we'll see.
Wait, are
We'll
you going to
see.
be able to do my event if I throw it?
I will definitely make time for your event.
Oh! Yes. Oh my God, that's exciting. So
I
do
know.
you know where you would tour to, or would you be with another artist?
So we don't know the details yet. Working with Justin in the studio,
Okay.
we're thinking about doing maybe just a Midwest, seeing kind of the audience who's engaged with
Sure.
it, depending on how well the album does. But that would definitely be a goal of mine. Either way, it's been a 1.5-year process of things that were in my head, all the songs I wrote. I've been lucky to work with so many people on it. So that's already been a big accomplishment.
So I've already had the privilege of listening to some of her music. She was a guest. She was a singer at at our event in June against human trafficking at the Stan Mansion, and she performed some of her songs that are coming out in this album. Correct?
Yeah.
Oh, and they're great. I love them. I think that they're very motivating. Even the YouTube videos that I've seen, just the short clips, and it's just like yes, And what's the album called? You want to talk about it?
Rebuilding.
Okay.
Rebuilding.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There are some very powerful songs on there.
Yeah, I really wanted to make an album, and I named it Rebuilding because I was at a point in my life where there's a lot of different, anxieties. I mean, there's heartbreak, there was love, there was so many different things that I wanted to find who I was,
Mm-hmm.
have a foundation, and rebuild my life. So the songs around that are kind of things that I've went through, but I think that are so relatable and universal to other people.
Girl, I've been rebuilding my life for the last 4 years. After my husband passed, it's been an evolution having to figuring out how to be single in this world today. I mean, I was with my husband for 17 years, so that totally resonates with me, and that's why I think I love your album so much, because I'm like, yeah, I've had to rebuild my effing life.
Right, and everything's changing.
And just like the social media, I wasn't really big into social media before. Now I am, because that's how we all communicate. Like, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm doing that.
Right.
But that's also how you get community to support you as well. So, I know a lot of people use it for not the best platform, but I use it for, I want to spread positivity, support my friends, support all these artists that I know, and just hopefully we together can make a ripple effect and keep that positivity moving forward.
Yes, love it.
How can someone contact you to, if they wanted to listen to your album, if they wanted to contact you to perform for them, what would be the best way for them to contact you?
So the biggest is on my website, jocelyngarrett.com. There is a bookings site where there's actually an email address where if you wanted to book for me, reach out. We'll have someone reach back out to you. So that's the easiest way.
Okay.
As far as my music, everything currently is on Spotify, iTunes, but when the album comes out November 18th, it'll be literally everywhere. I'm
Very
so excited.
Very exciting. Are there any songs that you want to highlight from the album that you want to talk about specifically?
That is such a good question.
I think that
Caught
we
me
need
off
to talk.
guard.
Yeah, well, we need to talk a little bit about that
Yeah.
so people can relate to you and be excited to get that album.
Yeah, I think there's probably 2 songs that I literally sometimes listen to them. I did it on the way here. Swimming in a Room Full of Paint was one that I wrote with the theme of James Bond. I don't know if you've ever seen Goldfinger.
I have, yeah. It's been a while.
So they would suffocate people by painting them in gold.
Okay,
so
yeah,
I took
Mhm.
the anxiety and going through a hard time and kind of putting myself as I feel like I'm drowning. I feel like in that movie,
Sure.
I would be one of those people suffocating in paint.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
I
intense.
created, so it's a very metaphoric song, but
But a lot of people do
I
suffer
love it.
from anxiety. I know
Yeah.
that I have people in my family that suffer from it, and it can be debilitating. So, I'm definitely going to recommend them to listen to it, and just so hopefully they can connect with that and bring them to some peace.
yeah, no, 100%. So that one I really enjoy just listening to because it reminds me. And then one that, I love them all. It's so hard. I mean, Night Slayers is so fun. It's like a girl's okay, let's go out and enjoy ourselves. I love that one. Chess Games, I mean, even Smoking Mirrors with White Wolf, working with him, AJ, he's an amazing rapper, artist. Go check him out if you haven't. I was privileged enough that he was able to jump on a track that was just about smoking mirrors. Like, you look at yourself in the mirror and you look back, and sometimes you just need to have that alter ego that's like, I gotta pick myself up.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that one as well.
Ooh.
But I love all of them.
I'm gonna have to listen to that one because I like that. That one's good. What about any other questions that you'd like me to ask, or do you want to ask me any questions?
Actually, yes.
Ooh, okay.
I'd love to ask you a question. So you have, worked with different women on the podcast, and, I really love kind of the theme that you have for your podcast. What's the biggest takeaway of listening to all these women that's really resonated with you?
That, no matter what anybody's going through, that there is hope. And it's always just to keep moving forward, no matter what you're dealing with in life. And for me, what I've gone through, we've all gone through a lot. It's, it's kind of just, it is what it is. It's all relative, right? Just to sit down and talk to them and listen to their inspiring story, because if somebody out there is listening and is having like a hard time, and if they just happen to see my podcast on social media or see it like pop up on Apple or Spotify or whatever, they might listen to it because they like what it says, label free. Oh, what is that? Curious. And if they listen to your story, you can motivate like the next pop star,
Right.
Or my girlfriend, that she was fighting fibromyalgia, and she decided to take a more healthy alternative, and now she's healthier. So, just things like that are just I think are so important to talk about for, just all different walks of life, because everybody has problems, right? So,
right.
If somebody can connect with that and we can help them, like, that just makes me feel so good.
I love that. Preach.
Yeah. So what do you think, why do you think it's important to be label free and talk about how we as women rise above being put in a box?
Oh, I love that question. I think we're at an age where women don't feel as confined. They have that independence. They have that drive to go after whatever they choose to. I love that women are independent. And I also love that women, if they want to go after a career, they're starting to create goals and game plans. And I think for me personally, when you can pave the way for other women to say, hey, I want to go after my career.
Yes.
I still want to, have married later in life. I want to have kids later in life. But my goals are super important, and I don't want to look back and be like, oh, why didn't I do that? I think that paves the way for women. And I think that really creates that box, opens that box up.
And I think, and that's probably another reason why I started this, because I still, I'm still open to the idea of having children, and I have conversations with people who are like, oh, are you sure? Is that really safe for you? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Is that safe for me?
Right.
I'm perfectly healthy, and women are having children later on in life, and I feel like that's almost like a fountain of youth, where it renews you. Especially if you have gone after your career, you've gotten married, and now you're like, okay, now I'm ready to have my child. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Modern medicine is pretty amazing, although I don't agree with a lot of modern medicine. But I do think that in the reproductive area for women that are older or at a certain age, that, it is safe.
Right.
So I hate that when I have conversations like that.
Like, no. Yeah, no. I think another thing, too, is it's okay. I feel like, and this is just me, but, like, in my mom's time, it was like, if you were 35 and having a kid back then, that wasn't okay.
Right.
Now it's like acceptable, and I love that. So,
well, awesome. We've had a great time here. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Jocelyn? Anything you want to let everybody know about what's happening with you? I know that we're talking about possibly doing another event here soon.
Yep.
And I actually want you to do a special collab with a couple people that I think. Did you get my email?
Yeah, I did.
So don't say anything. But I think that with your voice, my brother-in-law's voice, because he's an operetto.
Right.
And Harry G that I copied on that email, I think that you guys could come up with something fabulous.
That would be awesome to collab. Obviously, collaborating for a great cause.
Yes.
It doesn't get any better.
Yeah. And I'll be releasing more information on that soon. I'm just trying to tie up some loose ends and get the proper venue, because I want it to be the Roaring 2020s theme. And so we'll all be dressed up. I'm even talking to some of the Chicago-based designers to do custom costumes for us.
Oh, cool.
And, like I mentioned, fire breathers, contortionists. But I also want to have a venue where people can walk in through a private entrance after they purchase their ticket. There's not going to be any location until after they purchase their ticket. and then there's going to be a password that they have to say to get in.
Oh my
So
God.
like
That's
a
like
typical
so
a typical speakeasy. I'm crazy. I know.
I love it. I love
have all
it.
these crazy ideas, but you know what? Once I get it in my head, it's like I can't let it go.
Right.
I'm just like, okay,
I
let's
love
make
that.
this happen. And of course, it will be for good cause. I can't do anything without it benefiting someone else. I just am not that person. So.
Oh, you have the greatest heart.
Oh,
I love that. I love that.
Sometimes I can. Hey, I have a rough side. Okay. I have very little patience for bullshit.
Right.
I really do, and that's probably why I don't date, because they just irritate me.
Yes.
I
love the honesty. I love the honesty.
But it's true though. Like, come on. Like, you know what? Just grow up.
Right. Yes. Agreed.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up here. I'm going to post all the links for JocelynGarrett.com for her upcoming album that's going to release next month, and a link to this podcast to subscribe so you can listen to this again and share it and do all kinds of great things. As always, guys, thanks so much for your support. Thanks so much for listening. Please share, please subscribe, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Good. It was a little shorter than usual, but that's okay.
That was good.
Yeah. I think let me save this really quick because my
Oh yeah.
save project. Oh, we're gonna say goodbye, guys. I wonder if I can tag a little couple things here. I will tag some links here soon.